Welcome back to the garage, and we got our parts in for the swing arm. And this is the piece that I was waiting on, and that's the part number right there. And basically this is the roller that goes on the swing arm itself. And obviously you can't put the swing arm on until this is on, because it's a single piece. So this is what I was waiting for. I finally got it in. This is the bearing kit right here, and that's the part number right there if anyone's interested. It is all balls. I already cut it open because I put the bearings themselves in the freezer, and it comes with new seals and a couple of new spacers. And then you have the actual spacer itself that goes that keeps the distance, but it also the inner race for the bearings. So we have all that. The caps. Let me grab the caps. All right, guys. Here's the caps. So you reuse the caps that you already had. This one here was kind of rusty inside, so I wire wheeled it. It's still usable. It's fine. So these are all cleaned up, ready to go. This is the old roller. It's not 100% gone. I mean, it could still be used. Let me just pop this one out and show you guys the difference between the two. Of course, it's childproof. You guys can see the difference. See how worn out that is? I guess it is pretty worn, huh? There really ain't much left of that. So I was going to throw this in my parts bin and hang on to it in case I need it, but it's gone. So we're going to toss that. All right, that's the new one. We're going to put that on. And I think this thing was like 20 bucks or something. And with shipping, it was like $30. I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have to buy a Yamaha. It's the only ones that sell it. Let's take a look at this. This is pretty oily. Well, here's a comparison. You can see, uh-oh, that's not quite as long as the other one. That's not good. Let's grab the swing arm and see. Nope, I don't think it's long enough. All right, guys, we're going to put the bearings in right now. And this was the really rough side. So I think I'm going to do this side first. I'm going to try to get this so that you guys can see what I'm doing. These have been sitting in the freezer for a couple of days. Getting nice and cold. I'm going to put the other one back in until I'm ready to use it. Alright, bottomed out. That one's installed. Now let's do the other side. Hit this with something a little more stout. There we go. Yeah. It ain't long enough. Huh. I didn't want to use this one, but I might have to. Alright guys, I cleaned it up. You can see this side here looks really good. And I used a couple of grits of sandpaper. There's a couple of little imperfections in here. But that is from the swing arm when it was sloppy. This side here is chewed up. It's chewed up more than I'd like. But I'm going to use it because I don't want to wait for another kit to come. And I already put the bearings back in here, so I can't return them. It seems okay. It fits pretty good. I'm going to red and tacky this thing up really good. And we should be fine. All right, I'm going to put red and tacky down on the bottom of this. On both of them. And you can never have too much. It's just going to ooze out if you do have too much. All right. Now, these have to go in. One goes in the bottom of each one. And then the seals go in. They just push in. That's it. I'm going to put a little bit more red and tacky in there. Not a lot, just a little. Just enough to keep it from rusting, and to give it lubrication, because this stuff just doesn't come out. Water doesn't affect it. Nothing affects this stuff. Dirt. Now, as far as these bearings go, I want to work some of this red and tacky right into the needles. I want to make sure there's plenty of grease inside of them. It's really killing me to use this used inner spacer, but honestly, I don't really have a choice. It'll be fine. Now we got to put the roller on, and this goes in there like this, and it just stays on there loose. And now you install the cap. Tip it up a little bit. And with these new seals, she's on there pretty good. That's beautiful. To the other side. And that should do it. Now we can go install this on the bike. All right, guys, what I want to show you real quick before we do any assembling is this piece right here. The roller, this is the roller that came off of it. And it was really, really loose. And I don't know if the bearings fell out of it or what, or if it's supposed to be this loose. I don't know. But if you look, you can see the threads are starting to come through, which means the roller is actually wearing away the metal. So what I did was I went in my pots. You know, I got buckets of bolts and shafts and stuff, and this is some type of an idler pin for a transmission. I don't remember where I got it from, but it just so happens to be pretty close fit on there, and there's almost no play. So what this will do, and it was longer, so I cut it down. I had to cut about 1/8 of an inch off of it with a belt sander, because this is hardened steel, and it fits on there perfect. Now when I put the bolt in here, the washer is going to push up against this collar, or this boss or shaft, or whatever you want to call it, spacer, and keep the spacer from spinning. So the only thing that'll spin is the wheel, and you can see how much tighter that is now. Much better. So the wheel will be the only thing spinning, and this piece of plastic is never going to wear out that hardened sleeve. So that's how I fixed that. Just want to show you it real quick with it installed. See how nice that spins? Let's get this swing arm in now, shall we? Alright, let's start the bolt, which I did cover it with red and tacky. I'm going to put the whole suspension together and leave it loose, and then tighten it once we have weight on it. I don't want the suspension to have a chance to move after it's after the bike's being ridden and all that kind of stuff. My favorite on that, on this bolt. This is the bolt for the shock absorber. So we're going to get that linkage in there first before we go any further. And this has a Zerk fitting on it, so I'm not going to get too carried away with it, with the grease. There we go. There we go. Shock's in. Everything's still loose, which is okay, but there's no side-to-side play, which is fantastic. Let's, at this point, mount the axle. This way. There we go. There we go. That one's in. This guy here. So what we got to do now is drive this in. Everything's in and loose. And I think at this point here, I'm gonna put the sprocket on. All right guys, here's the sprockets that I got for this bike. And they're made in China, obviously. And they're perfectly fine. You got a 38 tooth in the rear and a 13 in the front, which is the factory size. So we're good to go. Here's the chain I got as well. And I'm probably gonna have to cut this chain because usually the chains don't come to size. You gotta cut them to fit. And one of the last things here is brand new wheel hub, which I got for this bike as well because the other one was janked up. And all the lug nuts were no good because the threads were all chewed up. And I had these in a pot bin because I put one of the bikes I bought about a year and a half ago or something came with a box of like acorn style chrome lugs, and I ended up throwing them on my wife's bike because they look good with those SS wheels. SSS wheels? I don't know. Anyways, they look good with those wheels, and I saved all the lug nuts, so didn't have to buy any. All right, guys, here's the new sprocket, 38 tooth. We got to get that on before we put any wheels or hubs on. And I cleaned up all the nuts and bolts on the wire wheels, so they all look good. All right, guys, sprocket's on. Put the wheels and tires back on it, and tighten the suspension before we go any further. Let's install the new hub. That'll keep it from rusting. Slide the new hub on. A little bit more. And I might need to go to 3 just to get that little bit off. There we go. Always use new cotter pins, never use the old ones, and we just bend it up. That's it. And this one here, I usually just knock back like that. That ain't coming off. A month or more since this has been on its own weight. We can go in the back, and I'm going to torque down all the suspension components. I'll do that off camera. All right, guys, we're going to pop this on now. And you can see that they've made this for 2 different types of bikes. One that takes the screw-in lock, and of course the other ones that take the bend-over tab. And this one takes the bend-over tab, but we're going to pop it on there anyway. Go. Fits very nice. Put the locking bend over tab on. And then the nut. And I wire wheeled all this stuff to make it look better too. You don't have to. I like to do it because I'm going through all this. Might as well make it look good. All right, let's see. I think that looks pretty good right there. All right, we'll take that. It's a 32. And the 32 not only does the axle nut, but it does the sprocket nut as well. So the big socket set's really handy. All right, so I'm just gonna go on the second setting here, and I'm not gonna really kill this because it does have that locking clip, but I wanna make sure it's tight. Let's see, maybe it'll be easiest right here. is the caliper we're going to put on. So I'm just going, I figure we should just install it on the machine and then do the brake line after. Brake pads, which I got brand new ones. I already put the front ones in. I did that previous video. Just threading in. Let's grab the other one. Same thing. Alright, we're going to put some .4 in it. The reservoir was pretty empty. Alright, I can hear it, so let's try bleeding it. Oh, we gotta get something. Oh, I already got a pedal. That's pretty good. Check the brake, and the brake's working. So brakes are fixed. All right, we cleaned that all up. Let's pop that on now. And I wire wheeled the bolts so they look good. And we just got to snap this guy back on there and bolt it back up. All right, guys, I got a lot done today. As you guys can see outside, it was a rainy, crappy day all day, and now all of a sudden the sun's out and it's like 65 degrees. Great weather to ride. We're not ready yet. All right, so this is where we're at with this thing, and I just want to go over it real quick. I did quite a bit off camera. This build is at the point now where I just want to get it done, and sometimes videoing and working, it just takes too long, and I just want to get it done. So I'm gonna just give you guys a catch up on basically what I did. I installed the new tires and wheels are on, and they look fantastic. They really, I probably should do the back too, but I'm not gonna. New owner can worry about that, unless I'm the new owner, and then I will replace them, but we'll see. I got the heel guards on. I put the chain cover on, or the sprocket cover on. Obviously you guys saw that chain protector's on there. You saw me put that on. I installed the lower skid plate. That thing was twisted and bent. What a job that was. I had to use a floor jack and everything to get the holes to line up. But it's all bolted on. That's good. Brake line is bolted where it's supposed to be in here. And I pushed that clamp back over. I installed the exhaust. The exhaust is back on. That looks good. And the heel guard on this side's in, and let me just move the wiring rope out of the way. And the master cylinder is back on. I got the cover for that. The fender stay is on here. I got the fender stay on the other side, which I'll show you right here. That's on, and I did wire wheel everything. Let me just get down a little bit closer. I wire wheeled it all, and it looks really good. I mean, I could have painted it, but they got some kind of a, I don't know, zinc coating on them, so they'll be fine. And they look pretty good. So I think at this point, what I'm going to do now is, I can't put the airbox in until the fenders are actually, yeah. So the airbox can't go in until I have the fenders on, because it's just the way that this bike is. So I need to install the fenders. I still need to do a ton of electrical work, but in order to run all the wires the way I need to, and run them properly, I need the fenders on, which are right here. Sorry for sounding like I'm all over the place, but the bike is coming along. It's looking really good. I'm gonna throw those fenders on right now off camera, and I guess I'm gonna end this video here. I did a ton of work to this thing today, and so I'm gonna throw the fenders on off camera. When I come back in the next video, we're gonna do the wiring, and then that's it on this thing. It's done. So this has been a long project. It's been one of the longest projects I think I've worked on. I've done the most videos on this, only because this bike was that bad when I got it. You guys saw it. It was horrendous, and pretty much left for dead. But you know me, I saved another one, or that's the plan, to save as many as possible. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the last installment of the Raptor 350.